Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to the Green Room. My name is Troy, aka Northern Scrogger, and this is episode number 4. So, in this episode, we will be discussing curing. Pretty good topic since Vivosun is coming out with this, has already came out with the Vcure right here behind me.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to the Green Room. My name is Troy.
So, good topic. What we're talking about tonight. Let me see here. Yeah, like I said, it's all about curing. It's actually kind of hard to get curing right. It was for me. My first times learning how to cure was actually harder for me than growing the plant, to be honest with you. Curing, I find, is the hardest thing. Drying and curing, it was difficult, man. I did get it dialed in eventually. After I started growing, it took me at least probably 4 or 5 runs before I kind of started getting things dialed in a little bit. But I got things kind of dialed in now. So we're just be going over tips and stuff like that. And I just want to give you guys a little rundown of what this show is about. It's about community building, learning grow tips. We all just share with each other. You guys can share in the chats. It's just about learning. It's basically for new growers as well, just learning new skills and trying to pick up different tips along the way. So thank you everyone for coming along. Also in this episode, we're joined by Jake. Jake is a new employee for Vivosun. He's going to be the face of Vivosun, and he seems like a pretty good, experienced dude. So I'm looking forward to chatting with him about the Vcure as well. So I'm going to bring in Jake right now, and he can introduce himself a little bit to you guys, and we're going to get this show kicked off. So let's bring him in at this moment. What's up, Jake?
What's going on, Troy? How's everything, man?
Good, thanks. And yourself?
Doing well. Can't complain. Chilling in the grow lounge. Been excited. Looking forward to doing this live and working with you specifically, man. So you have a good reputation and excited to get going on this.
Hey, man. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Okay, so let's just get right into rolling. So Jake, if you just want to tell us a little bit about your background, maybe, because I know some people have like noticed you coming on the Vivosun channels, and they're probably just wondering like, who is Jake? And like, I know who you are, I know your experience that you have, but some people might not. So if you just want to fill us in a little bit, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. So I come from a commercial background. I've been growing for, geez, I'm coming up on 16 years now. It makes me feel old, man. But 16, 16 years in the business, kind of started straight out of high school, into the medical market, transitioned to the legal market. I have a couple certifications, UC certifications, and some other certificates I got through Cal State universities. But I just really have a passion for the plant. And I also have a passion for coaching. So doing something like this really kind of addresses both of my passions. And I just, I share the same with you. I just want to help people learn and kind of demystify growing and something like curing, especially, which, is one of the harder parts of growing. Like you said, a lot of people can grow the plant, but then when it comes to curing and or drying, things can go awry really quickly. So,
Yeah,
that's a little bit about me and where I come from.
great. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with you and learning and working with you through to the future as well. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy that you're on board on Vivosun. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Yeah, I do. I find curing was hard for me. My biggest problems was, I like to ask the chat as well, like if you guys can give us some feedback on what your issues with curing, if you even have any, like what was your hardest steps? What mistakes have you made? Because a few mistakes that I always made, well, my main one was like humidity, man. Like I would fill my humidifier up all the time. And like if I'm not back in time to fill that humidifier, and if it gets empty and it gets super dry in there, I feel like I've ruined my plants, because I'll go in there and I'll squeeze a bud and it just turns to like dust, right? And you're like, oh
Powder, yeah.
no. And then it's gonna like you try to smoke it, but then it's super harsh and it's just not fun. So like that was one of my main problems learning how to cure, is just like keeping my humidity and my temps dialed in. I guess that's the main thing about it all. But there is other things that could affect, like air movement. Like if people have too much air movement on the actual flowers and buds themselves, that could like do some damage as well. Like I
Yeah.
usually tell people, like, you want air movement in your space, but kind of keep it on the floor. Like you don't want your plants like swinging in the wind per se.
Right.
You just want air movement.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
if like, what about you? Like, have you had any like mess ups or mistakes that you've made learning when you're curing?
Oh, absolutely. Similar to you, man, humidity and having big drops or swings in humidity, especially like running some bigger facilities out in the desert where it's really dry and gets super cold at night. It gets really hard. And like you said, sometimes you'll go into the room and you're like, oh no, what happened? You know what I mean? And there's also, curing is more than just kind of like equalizing the moisture or keeping even moisture, letting that moisture, equalize throughout the buds, etc.
Hmm.
There's a lot that goes on kind of like at the molecular level too, with chlorophyll and nitrogen and the water molecules themselves that really cause that harsh burning, unenjoyable kind of smoke or flower. So there's a lot to it, but definitely humidity issues. Temperature
Yeah.
too is another thing that people don't really consider. If that temperature gets high, it's going to cause the flowers to release more moisture, and then again, you go in there, you have that powder dust flower, which nobody wants, right? Nobody wants to go under their cure and see their buds crumble.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the worst. Or like opening up the jar and just reeks of like hay. Like you just don't really want that. But there's tips on how to avoid that. So like a
Absolutely.
few things like I just want to explain to people like what is important about curing. So like curing in general is going to improve the flavor and smell of your bud. Like it allows the terpenes to fully develop and mature. It really does. Like so during the trying process, they're developing and they're maturing, but when you cure it, it just totally like fulfills that process. Also, like if you cure your flowers, you're going to have smoother smoke because it's breaking down the remaining chlorophyll that's in that flower and sugars as well. So your smoke is going to be better and smoother when you smoke it.
Oh, 100%. You nailed it with that. Yeah. And that's, to me, like curing specifically, drying too, but curing is kind of what can set apart some like really killer proper, flower, as opposed to, something that was grown really great and then kind of degraded those terpenes, those flavonoids in your curing and can really
100%.
lower the bag appeal a bit. So yeah, you nailed it with that, especially with the chlorophyll. A lot of people don't know that chlorophyll is still breaking down when you're curing the flower, and that's a really big thing. That's why we're doing this, right? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Yeah, chlorophyll breaking down, if you don't allow it to break down properly or give it enough time, that's what's really going to cause that black ash. I know there's a lot of controversy about black ash, et cetera, but it's kind of proven scientifically that black ash will burn a little hotter because it's not combusting or burning the right way,
Yeah.
or all the way, period. And that's what gets that harsh, hotter smoke and harsh throat feel that no, I don't want anybody to experience that.
Same. Yeah, you always see people like comparing their ashes on their joints. Like, look how gray mine is and how light gray it is. Like you always see that happening out there. But yeah, like
Absolutely.
you said, like it increases the potency and the quality because like it preserves the cannabinoids, like you said, from degrading. So like that's huge. Like people be like, how can curing increase the potency? Well, that is because, like I just said, like it preserves those cannabinoids in the bud. Also, it helps like with like long-term preservation. If you can cure your bud properly, you're going to be able to store it longer, like for months, sometimes even like up close to a year. Like I've known people that can actually store their flowers for like almost 2 years, and it's not, if they do it properly in like a nice good humidity area, cool, dark, it'll last a while.
Oh yeah.
One last thing that I think that curing does real well is like it's like gives the bud like an even moisture content. You know what I mean? So like even the center of the flower is gonna like get that moisture removed. It's gonna be all the same. Just little things like that.
Yeah, and one thing that you touched on too is air movement in the curing environment. Like you said, you don't want air blowing directly on those flowers. That's going to quickly evaporate and degrade those cannabinoids and terpenes. And another thing too that's kind of related to curing, but is the terpenes relations to cannabinoids. A lot of people don't realize or don't know that the different terpenes and having a higher terpene level is gonna increase the effectiveness of those cannabinoids. So typically, the tastier the flower it is, the better it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Just in general. And that's a big deal for home growers. Nobody wants to spend 13, 14 weeks dialed in, taking care of their plants every day, checking on things, et cetera, to then have it all go to kind of crap in, a matter of days or a week or so.
Yeah, for sure. So like from your like personal experience, a few examples of mistakes like say drying too fast, right? Like that's something common that people do a lot, or like humidity swings, like we discussed. Humidity swings is a really like screws things up a lot. Or like guesswork from burping jars. Like I know that I do that. Like sometimes I'm like, do I really gotta burp for 10 minutes? Like what is this doing? But it really is important to do that because if you don't burp those jars and all that humidity is going to build up in there, then you're not going to get release that chlorophyll and it's going to smell like that hay that you don't want. So just little
Absolutely.
things like that.
Yeah, and one thing you nailed too, drying too fast. If you dry too fast, I mean, there's not much you can try to recover. You can try to bring that moisture back in, but you've already basically taken the cure process out. Once you dry that flower out, it's you lost those terpenes and you're never going to be able to regain them. You know what I mean? So
For
it kind of puts you
sure.
behind the eight ball. You dry too fast. Something like new that's come out, you can kind of see it right here behind me, the Vcure. Um, can really help with curing and especially storing too. Like you said, I've smoked flower that's over a year old from some of my buddies because they kept it perfect. They kept it in a safe or in some type of box that keeps everything perfect for them. And you
Yep.
you can do that, with the VCure. That kind of enables everybody to now store flower for God, however long you want. Go back
Yeah.
something you grew last summer and say, hey, this freaking tangy is really nice. Let's have a hit of summer and crack a jar open and you're off to the races. So um, definitely drying too fast. Something we already mentioned too is air
Yeah.
movement, humidity swings. All these things kind of play into the overall picture that is curing. And it's easy to overdo one thing or underdo one thing, have too much humidity because you're not burping your jars like you said. So yeah, those 10, 15 minutes, when you open those jars, get those buds some fresh air, it
Yeah.
definitely plays into the final quality, 100%.
For sure. I'm just gonna sling my camera over a little bit so you can actually see my VCure
Yeah.
here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so like you're right. Like so a lot of the issues that you and I are discussing, like say burping, humidity, heat, all that stuff, the VCure has kind of like solved it for us in a way, right? Like it's kind of took in all that and kind of did it for us. So really like it's kind of hard to make a mistake now if you have this unit right here. And there is a few on the market, but this is the one that you should be looking at. And like it worked great for me. And like I already did a full run on the craft cycle of the V Cure. So guys, what the V Cure is, like what Jake just said, man, this is like a curing system itself. You just put your flowers in here when you harvest, close that door, you can put it on a 7-day cycle, a 14-day cycle. You can either just cure it, you can just dry it. There's so many options you can play around with this thing. You can even set your
Yeah.
own perimeters on there or parameters.
Right.
Um, so
That's
like, yeah, go ahead.
that's definitely something too. I know I've talked about it kind of when I put out the most common VCure questions video when that got put out.
Yep.
I have my own kind of recipe that I've been using for I would say like the last 3, 4-ish years, and it's basically like a 5-day dry that kind of starts your cure. So I'm really stoked to kind of put that out. I haven't tested it with the VCure specifically yet, so I do apologize. I will be putting it out. I just don't want to put something out for everybody and then them try it or there be issues with it and say, oh, well, this freaking guy told me to do this. He gave me his recipe and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, definitely will I will put that out, but it's it does take a lot of the guesswork out for you. It dries evenly is a big thing. It
Yeah.
cures evenly. There's no moisture left in the center. It kind of maintains that chain of water adhesion towards the center of the flowers and just
Hmm.
dries it out and cures it evenly, which something that does that for you without having to manage a humidifier, a dehumidifier, an air conditioner, fans,
Yeah.
spacing of the flowers, like it's just coming from a commercial background and having to deal with hundreds or thousands of plants at a time to having something that's this easy is just, it's really a
100%
game
game
changer.
changer. It's a game changer.
Nailed it. Yeah. Game
Yeah. And
changer.
like I said, I went through the craft cycle and it worked for me, man. It worked great. And like, I didn't I was about to say like I experienced one problem, but it's not even a problem because it says right in the directions on what you have to do this in on a low dry humidity areas. I just had to put some water in the tray because
Mhm.
where I live in Canada, like the humidity is super low right now. Like I'm going through crazy winter storms and like it's like minus
Oh
20
yeah.
degrees Celsius, so the humidity is like non-existent. So all I had to do was just fill some water in the tray and it works perfect. But even not putting water in the tray, it was still it had that humidity level like pretty much where I wanted it to be honest with you. Like it wasn't that far off. So like if you live in a place that you have like pretty decent humidity year round, you're never gonna have to put water in that thing. It's works pretty well as it is.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I mean, LA's, I mean, it's not like super humid, it's not Florida, but it's, right at mid-level humidity. And I didn't have to do really anything. I didn't have to add any water. So, I mean,
Hmm.
it did its job perfectly for me.
Yeah. So like I did watch your like questions about the V grow like or the V cure like the first things and like I heard you say like trimming wise, how you would like to trim before you put in there. So like, would you I know the answer, but I just want to ask the people that are in here right now
Yeah.
want to hear. So like, would you like dry trim, or would you wet trim to put in your Vcure?
I always prefer a dry trim, especially
Hmm.
kind of with the Vcure. The big reason being is that those leaves that you leave on, they kind of act like a jacket or protective layer for the flowers. One, because you have air circulating, has a 360 circulation system. It kind of protects those cannabinoids and terpenes, right? Acts like a jacket for it. But you're also laying the flowers down, which for me, that was kind of new. I've always hang dried whole plants, right? So laying down the branches or buds on the tray, that extra leaf coating kind of helps protect the flower structure, and it prevents really any flat spots or sides that you may get. I've seen some people say, "Oh, well, my bud's flat on the side." If you rotate them periodically, if you do a dry trim, you shouldn't have any of those issues, to be honest, or should
Hmm.
really mitigate, I would say, 80 to 90% of whatever that may happen. Um,
Yeah.
the big thing for me is kind of preserving those cannabinoids and terpenes. That's the big reason I've always dry trimmed, really.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way as you, man. Like, I'll trim those big fan leaves off, right? Like
Yeah,
those big suckers are just hanging off the sides. I'll
yeah.
take those off, and like bigger ones, but all the ones that are gonna, like, I call them sugar leaves.
Hmm.
Like those sugar leaves, they're gonna wrap and curl around the flower. Like, I always keep them on. And
Right.
like, my first run with the V-Cure, what I did was I actually stripped all the bud off my stem, basically, except for like the very top. I just kind of snipped that off. But like, for the most part, I like stripped my buds off the stem and I filled my trays up. I didn't like put branches in there.
Gotcha.
It was just the first time that I did it. Normally, honestly, the way that I grow, the way that I scrog, I usually don't have like branches with
Right.
stems. I just kind of have like buds on my on it. So
Yeah, you have one big like square meter of buds, right? Just
yeah,
tops. Yeah,
yeah,
hell yeah.
just pure tops. So I was just cut all the tops and just fill the trays up, and it actually worked out really well for me. It was
Beautiful.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out to a few people that are in our chat right now. We got John Lindsay, what's up, man? And Josh Lockwood. I see Rob CLTV in here. I also see that everyone is joking around saying, Jake, that you and I could be brothers and we kind of look alike, and you should get some glasses on because people wouldn't even tell who we are.
I
The
know. Because
difference
I actually
between
had
us.
him on. I had him on, but it was kind of dark in here. I'm like, "Ah, I don't want to be a cornball, you know?
But yeah. Just wait, pardon, Ali?
They want to do a Canada giveaway at the end, Elliot said. So they put information in your Google Doc.
Okay. I just got information that Elliot wants to do a Canadian giveaway during this episode. So
Oh, sick.
I guess he put some information in our. Oh yeah, I see it here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just got that on the headset here. So we
Awesome.
do have a giveaway for the episode, guys, coming up. Once I get down to that section, I'll tell you guys what it's all about. So right now we're just introducing the V-Cure, and also you can do extracts in it, guys. I never dabbled with that yet, but you can dry and cure extracts. Like, I do you know much about that, Jake? Because I really don't, man. I haven't like gone down that rabbit hole yet. But what about you, man?
Yeah, so I got into rosin probably like 12 years ago now, I would say. As a grower, one of my buddies told me about it, the old school hair straightener with the freaking DeWalt clamp.
Yeah.
And we were just doing it not even like as an extract, we were just doing it as a way to kind of pre-test your harvest before it was all the way dry. You could pluck a couple buds off when it's, almost all the way dry, throw in some parchment and squish it just to get
Hmm.
an idea of, what it's hitting, how it's going to smoke.
Yep.
And now it's like rosin is his whole own beast, man. I haven't messed around with the V-Cure and like doing extracts in it yet, but I'm sure, it'd work great for bubble hash, cold curing rosin. I was thinking you could even like dry your hash in the V-Cure, which would be great because a lot of people don't have a freeze dryer at home,
Yeah.
or they don't have a freaking vac oven. So there's a lot of potential with extracts in the V-Cure that I think are kind of untapped and something that I'm definitely gonna play around with once I get my first harvest. Hopefully I can wash some and play around with it a little bit with the extract side. I'm really stoked on that.
Yeah, see, like I was just gonna ask you the same thing. Like, I got into live rosin too. I started making it a few years ago and like learning how to do it. And like I was thinking, like, would this thing like potentially not replace a freeze dryer, but like will it do like kind of the same thing as that? Like, will it turn that into a sandy texture, you think?
Yeah, just like physiology says that, yeah, it will. It may not
Hmm.
be able to keep it at those super low temps, but it will be cold enough to keep it fresh to preserve those trichome heads and still pull out the moisture. So I don't see why it may take a little longer, but I don't see why you won't be able to achieve very similar results, you know,
Man,
using the Vcure for something like that.
that'd be super interesting. Like that would be awesome actually. Because like those freeze dryers are super expensive, and like this thing's not cheap itself. So if you could buy one of these and you kind of have the same unit that can almost do the same thing. Like, we're not saying it's going to do what a freeze dryer does, but you can still get by, man. Like Jake said, a lot of people put their hash or like in pizza box, like a cardboard pizza box. They
Yeah.
put that in their fridge, and like that helps dry it out. Well, this thing is gonna be better probably than that pizza box. That's the example we can give you on that. I just like that it like has a whole bunch of different cycles, and you can actually change your parameters. Like that is key, man. And I did do that on my curing. I bumped up my humidity just a touch because they had it on the setting. It was like sitting at like 55%. And I just wanted to bump it up to like 63%. So it was easy. I just bumped it up, and it like did it perfectly. So I just thought that was pretty cool.
And that's something to be said too, is that if you don't like or don't want to run the preset cycles, you can create your own recipe. And it's going to vary, you know, like you're in Canada right now, it's freezing, it's dry. You're probably going to need to bump that humidity up a little bit. You know what I mean? Rather than someone that's, like I said, in Florida, they might want to take it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all going to be different. And the Vcure, it allows you to do that. So.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, different atmosphere or different like weather. Yeah, just like if you're in Vegas, you're gonna probably be putting water in it. Like it's just the way it is, because like your humidity is nothing. So you might have to add a bit of water in your tray, which is no big deal. It's actually a nice tray that it's in there that you put water in. It's not gonna spill, and it holds a lot.
It's not a sponge. I don't say anything about that, but that's always bothered me.
No.
Having a sponge in your, I don't know.
Yeah, well, a sponge collects a lot of dirty shit, right? Like a sponges aren't the cleanest thing in the world.
No, definitely not. It's just a breeding ground, really.
100% for bacteria and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a quick question for you, Jake. You probably already said it, and I might have missed it, but like, what surprised you the most about the Vcure? Like what's something that surprised you the most?
Honestly, the job it does, and the fact that it was kind of set it and forget it. You know, I thought I was gonna have to like constantly be monitoring it and maybe like change the humidity settings, or change the temperature a little bit, change the VPD a little bit, but it was really set it and forget it. And I checked on it. I did check on it daily, but towards the end of the craft cycle, like I realized that I can kind of be hands off if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Which again, it's just to me, it's such a 180 as opposed to what I'm used to, having to manage so much stuff. So that was honestly like the biggest benefit to me.
So it's just immediately felt easier and less stressful just curing your flowers.
110%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my same answer, man. Because like I used to dread harvest time before now I make live rosin, so like I would just chop it now and just put it in the freezer bags and put it in my freezer. It's super easy now. But back when I was doing like a lot of curing and stuff like that, like I'd be like, oh my god, I gotta like chop all this down, hang it all up now, and then I gotta like get all my fans on the floor, and I gotta get my air conditioner on if it was summer, I gotta get my heater on in winter to get my humidity going. Like it's so much, it's like a whole nother ball game. Now it's just like cut the buds and put them in the thing and press a couple buttons, and you can just forget about it for a couple days. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, here's a good quick question for you. It's probably a pretty basic question, but like, who do you think benefits the most from a Vcure right now? Like who would you suggest should like probably maybe think about investing or saving up for a Vcure?
I don't think there's anybody that shouldn't. That's kind of a broad answer.
That's a good answer.
But I don't see why you wouldn't. If it's going to make things easier, it can make your end product better, and it take less time.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
For sure. And consistency. Like if it is consistent, then it's going to always be consistent, because it's going to do the same thing. It's not going to change temperatures as much. It's not going to like lose out water, so your humidifier is going to die on you and not kick in. It's going to be consistent, which is perfect. Quick question for the chat. What part of curing causes you the most stress right now? If in the chat, the people in there, if you're curing right now, like what causes you the stress? You heard what Jake and I had to say, like what causes us stress, like what kind of causes you guys some stress, which should be cool. And
that's a good one. Speaking of
everyone's
stress,
asking questions to us. They're all like saying like, is this Troy's long lost brother? Holy shit, do we look
Here,
that much alike, man?
let me flip my hat around, bro. Maybe I look a little different.
Maybe if I took my hat off, I have a bunch of hair, and like people be like, okay,
Oh,
well,
see, I don't. So it's like,
I do it, but like I can't do it right now just because I got
oh,
all
you
this
got the
stuff on
headset.
me.
Yeah,
But like my hair is huge right
that's
now, man.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone's saying that. And I'm looking
I
at you
know
now. I'm like, maybe we do kind of look alike. Actually, I wish you had some glasses. I'm almost kind of starting to see it a little bit here.
Huh.
My beard's a bit longer though.
It is. Yeah, I try to keep mine short. I had it grown out for a while and it got too much. It's gone.
Yeah, I do it mostly for the winter. It keeps me warm when I'm outside on my snowmobile or ice fishing. To be honest, it all builds with ice. The whole thing is just covered
Oh,
in
that's
ice when I'm
crazy.
outside for like 10 minutes.
That's crazy.
It's kind of funny looking.
Uh, you asked me a question like, what's the most stressful part? I want to, if I can, just a quick story.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I had this facility in downtown, and we would dry and cure in the basement. Basically, it was like a three-story facility, and um, one of the humidifiers and somehow the dehumidifiers, a hose got loose on both of them. I think someone was in there messing around. They were trying to take some buds home or something, and they knocked them loose. Well, I came in the next morning, and the whole like basement floor was flooded with water, and everything was like ready to be taken down and trimmed. So
Oh,
I had 2 rooms of basically dried and then reconstituted flour, and it was like I had to go through another like 6 days of drying because I had water all over the floors. Obviously, the buds are like sponges, right? They're gonna soak all that up. So
yeah,
yeah, it was like I had to
man.
redry, and none of that flour would move because it had no smell, it had no flavor. It looked great, but you open a bag and you're like, it smells like napkins, like you know.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, something like that can be avoidable with a much easier plug and play unit, basically.
Hmm.
Avoid those issues, right?
So here's a quick question for you. When you're doing your commercial growing, like big grows like that, you guys would probably hang dry, right, for a while, and
Yeah.
then your curing process. How did you cure those buds in a commercial setting?
So the basement had like 8 different rooms that were all for drying. They ran off a central AC, so they all had their AC. Each room had its own humidifier, dehumidifier, and fans for air movement. And you basically just leave them in there till they're dry, right? It all gets
Hmm.
trimmed. It goes to a trim team. It all gets trimmed, and then it gets bagged in turkey bags or big like storage bins.
Yep.
And that's what they would get cured in. Bovita packs were our best friends. We use a bunch of Bovita packs basically to maintain that moisture because in turkey bags and in those storage bins, they're not the greatest perfect seal. It's not like a mason jar or
Hmm.
a bag that's has a double seal on it. So you basically go in there every day, turn all the bins over, turn all the bags over, open them up for 10 minutes, go
Hmm.
check on a room, come back, turn them over again, close it all until the next day.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's cool because I once worked in a big grow facility as well, and like that's the exact same way that we did it. We hang all the flowers at first. It's sad compared to like home grower stuff because it's such a like a it's just a production. It's like a cattle farm, like for like ranching cows. Like just get them through the
Right.
system. You know what I mean? It's like you'd
Right.
harvest all these huge shitty plants. I'd call them like they were shitty, man, because they're always like 6 feet tall, just not nice. And like
Oh,
we'd like hang dry them, and then after that we'd like trim them like crazy. Well, actually, we did a lot of wet trimming too. To be honest with you, there's a lot of wet
okay.
trimming, and then we would put them in like what you said, big turkey bags and big containers, and like finish off the cure that way.
Yeah.
It was never perfect because like I said, commercial growing is not like it's not like craft growing, right? It's just in and
Uh,
out, man. Make money, get some quantity. They're not going for the most quality. Most companies, right? I'm not
right.
talking for everybody. That's just my
Yeah.
experience. But yeah, we did it the same way.
Towards the end of my commercial growing days, definitely were able to put out a lot better quality, kind of focusing on irrigation strategies and stuff like that. And it's crazy when you are not shooting just for quantity and kind of, focusing on quality as well. You're still able to grow a lot, you know what I mean? But that curing process, it's still so rudimentary. Nowadays
Hmm.
they have, products that help you cure and you can throw it in your tote or whatever in a bin and it basically takes care of it for you. But when I was,
Yeah.
when I was doing the commercial go, we didn't have any of that. So it was just like big arduous process to just cure everything properly. Curing that much flowers, it's work. It's work.
It
And
is work.
like all commercial growing, people think you're just in there hanging out with thousands of plants. That's not how it is, man.
No, man. Like, oh my God, it's a tough job. Like I worked in a flower team, they called it. So like my job was to go in there and like do a bunch of defoliating, train plants. Like I went in there, like say like probably 250 pounds. When I was done working there, man, I was down like 190 just because being in those rooms,
Yeah.
like the sweating you would do from defoliating. It's just thousands of plants all at once, and it's hot in there, man. So like you're like sweating buckets, carrying large amounts of weight of dead leaves, and like it's actually a job, man. It's a lot of work. Weird positions your body is in for hours on end. You're just like in a weird awkward position. Yeah, like it's just not yeah, like you said, everyone thinks it's like, oh my God, you just grow weed for a living, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
No, man, actually, like I'd rather probably be a garbage man sometimes.
For real.
Like, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this cool thing that's happening.
Oh yeah.
Let me get my phone back on here. It is the
Vcure
Vcure Cup. The
Very
community
exciting.
competition. You pretty much helped set this up, did you not?
One of the great people on our team came up with the idea, and I think it's awesome. It kind of brings the cannabis cup or the competition style that you'll see with like commercial growers or craft growers into like the home growing community. I think it's really really cool to have something like that for us. And there's some big prizes too. There's a big prize pool for our community to possibly win. So
Yeah,
really excited. Just I'll give some info on that real quick.
for sure.
It's going down on Reddit, so it's a Reddit specific competition. It's very community driven and education inspired. It's all about helping our community and our growers learn to cure and dry better. It's really educational based, and it's really based around the growers' experience, what their experience with the VCure was. And that's really like the core of what it is. Um, it is, I mean, there is a big prize pool, but it's really more about helping our community and kind of getting them to level up to really learn more about drying and curing and nail the process down so everybody can, grow better.
Yeah, and like people can share their parameters with each other and all that kind of stuff, and just work with each other, like share tips and yeah. So like that I think that's pretty cool myself.
100%.
So
Yeah.
like so people have to be on Reddit to be involved in this then.
Yes, it's Reddit specific, Reddit platform specifically. And each person can enter up to 3 times. So if you want to enter in like 3 different categories, I think there's 6 different categories that are going to have rewards. Some of them will have multiple, like tiered first, second, third. So you can enter 3 different times. There's a total of $5,000 up for grabs. And there's a bunch of categories, like the best Vcure review, the best drying or curing diary. The one that I kind of contributed that I'm really excited about, and maybe we can have you help, judge this too, is the
Yeah,
prettiest cured flower. So I'm
that's
really stoked,
cool.
yeah, to see, some colors and some real vibrant flowers. Best Vcure tips as well is another one. But there's a bunch of different categories. So, I encourage everybody that's watching this. Obviously, they have some interest in curing or learning about curing, or maybe they're just here for you. But I encourage everybody, give it a try. If you have a VCure, why not? I mean, it's going to take 2 seconds of your time. There is some how do you call it? Qualifications, I guess, to enter.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
so
saw a few here. There's like
yeah,
step-by-step entry. So you got to join the Reddit Vivosun,
right.
and you got to use the correct, like I guess this is like the correct the award category. I think that's what my my notes say here. So that they got to make sure they join the Reddit Vivosun, and then when you're posting, you got to make sure you post the correct category. So if you're going for like the prettiest bud, you want to post in that section, right? You want to include 3 photos or at least 1 video in your posts, and a minimum of 50 words. So that's going to be the documentation part. What else is it? You got to have a Vcure Cup in the title. That's
Right.
important. So when you're making a post, you got to make sure you have the Vcure Cup in the title of your post. So like the judges know that this is part of the Vcure, right?
Yeah.
And
You're
it's
not
up to
just
3
posting
entries per
Vcure.
person, so you can actually join 3 different categories, which is kind of cool by the looks of it.
Yeah, and I think it runs through March 16th. So March 16th will be like the cutoff to get your entries in. And then I believe the winners will be announced at the end of March, probably last day
Nice.
of March. You know, we'll go through everything and pick our winners for that. So
That's cool.
yeah, it should be pretty cool. I'm excited to like see everybody throw their entries. I've seen a couple already on Reddit and gone through and checked some entries out. And I'm sure now they're going to get flooded now that we're talking about it. So I'm
Oh
excited about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. Cause like, to be honest, I'm excited so I can learn more about my Vcure. Like I
Oh
want
yeah,
to learn other people's data programs, and I want to learn like what other people are putting in their settings. And like I want to see people do extracts. Like there's so much. I think there's going to be like even more that comes out with, like, people are going to be creative, man. Like we're going to see some cool shit happen with the Vcures. Like, cause like the company comes out and says, this is what you do with it. But then people are smart on their end, and they're like, well, I can probably do this with this. So I'm gonna do this with it. And like we're gonna start seeing things that is probably not even cannabis related with the Vcure happening. I bet you, like just weird stuff, like even with food or who knows
yeah,
what, man. But stuff's gonna be
yeah,
happening with this thing for
100%.
sure.
That's a good point. You know, something I haven't like really thought about is how creative people are going to get with it and seeing what it's really capable of outside of just drying and curing cannabis. Something we kind of touch on you know, you do fresh frozen, you do live rosin. You know, maybe after you wash, throw a little bit in there and test it out, see how it rocks with it.
That's what I was kind of thinking, is like after I do my wash and like you got that spot where you got to put it in like a cupboard or your fridge or whatever, I might just throw it in this thing in my jar and just let it sit in there and cure. And then
Yeah,
I'll whip it up in a couple of days after. Like that's where I'm getting to right now. I'm thinking about like doing something like that in the extract mode, because it's like if it cures that all up, that's gonna be amazing, man. Because I don't have to take out my fridge, where my kids might go in the fridge and be like, "What is this jar of stuff?" and open it up and taste it. You know, I'd rather just
right.
have it up here where they don't come, and it's safe. So like
Yeah.
that right there alone is like almost worth it to me.
If you don't,
Because go ahead.
I'm sorry, if you don't mind me asking, how far out are you from like harvest? Yeah, and I'm sure you have plants going right now. I barely have seeds popping, so how close are
Yeah.
you to being able to try that?
Well, to be honest, I'm not close at all. Well, I'm close enough to washing. I have a lot of material to wash right now, so I can do that test pretty soon, actually. But growing wise, I don't have any plants in the go right now.
Okay.
I have a trip planned to go to Vegas here next on Thursday. I think I leave. I leave next
Oh,
Thursday
nice.
for a couple days. And then as soon as I get home, I'm starting another Scrog school. So and then it's probably gonna take me like say 4 months. Then I'll do another cure in here. But I'm gonna be washing some plants or washing some buds here pretty soon. I'm gonna try to do my cure after I wash it and like do all that mixing and stuff. I'll probably like after I press it, I'm saying like after I press the
Press it, yeah.
flower, I might put it in here. And this is where I'm gonna cure it after I press it.
Do you
So that's coming.
after you wash, you freeze dry?
After I wash, I freeze dry. Yeah.
Sick. That's
Yeah.
one thing I wish I had is a freeze dryer. I've just been so focused on growing, you know what I mean? Like it's
Hmm.
just I never have had, now I'm sure I do, but I've never really had the time to like
Do
wash
that.
properly,
Yeah.
put it in a freeze dryer, or I shouldn't say not in the last like 5-ish years since I've been really focusing on like home grower education, etc. So
Yeah.
that's dope.
See, that's just with me, like being like a cannabis influencer. I had to keep on stepping up my game and keep stepping up. So once I saw live rosin come around and my first time smoking it, I'm like, holy shit, like how do you make this? And I started learning like it's not that hard. It's just expensive to buy everything. So I'm gonna go in credit card debt right now, and I'm gonna buy a freeze dryer that's gonna cost me another couple of years of my life to pay for. But then I started thinking like to get the freeze dryer, I talked to my partner. I'm like, hey, we can make like candies and a whole bunch of cool stuff with our
Right.
freeze dryer. So I try to make it sound like it's gonna benefit us. Meanwhile, the
Yeah,
only thing
well,
that goes in it is fucking weed. Like, but man,
that's what's
like,
up though.
yeah, for sure. And like we did make candies with it, and it's amazing. Like Skittles and all that kind of
Oh
stuff is
yeah.
like it's amazing freeze
Dude,
dried candies. Like
dude, my kids love those the freeze dried Skittles. They love those things, dude.
they're so good. They're
They
so
are.
good.
The
Even like
gummy worms
chocolate
too.
or ice cream sandwiches, man.
Oh yeah.
Like all that stuff is really awesome.
That's dope. You know, one
So
of one
like
of my buddies is really into live rosin. He buys hardware and makes pens too.
yes, I want to get into that. I have a buddy that I'm going to visit in Vegas, and he's going to teach me how to make the pens, man, because that's
Dope.
something that I want to come back and make pens myself, because it's so much easier to have a pen with you. Like you
Yeah.
if you go to like a party or something, you don't gotta like bring a big dab rig like this thing. Like I don't gotta bring my big rig around. I can just like
nice.
as have a pen. And I'm like, awesome. Like
On the go,
yeah,
man.
pens are the shit for sure.
Especially when you do it yourself, you know it's clean. You don't have to worry about what oil or what's in the oil, you know?
100%. Yeah, that's the main thing. The taste. I never had good pen. Like where I'm from, like all their dispensary pens, like you'll smoke it, and it almost tastes like chemically. Like you'll be like, ugh, like it's just, and it says live rosin without any chemicals or whatever, but it just tastes like a solventless, right? But it's not. Like you taste like chemical-y. But then like I have a buddy named Swank who's down in Vegas, and he has some pens, man, that like you smoke that and it just tastes like pure live rosin, like amazing. So like he's gonna teach me how to do it so I can do it the right way up here in Canada. That's the mission.
Dope. Yeah.
So yeah, so this competition is actually really exciting. I want to see if Elliot had any more notes in here about it for us. So judging criteria in plain language. So community value, content.
There you go.
Yeah. Content quality and honesty. Yes, they want it. They want you to be honest with your reviews and your data that you share. Obviously, it's only going to be profitable for everybody the more honest you are.
Right. It's community based, it's educational based. So lying about whatever you had intended to, or whatever, it's not going to benefit anybody. So
for sure,
I'm sure once we start reviewing the posts too, we'll be able to see, and it's content based. It's how helpful is your post or your entry going to be, right? That's like the main judging criteria is the community value, quality and honesty of what you're putting out for everybody to see, because we want it to be beneficial to everybody. That's the whole ideology behind doing the competition, is to help everybody kind of level up and get better.
For sure. Well, that's good. I'm glad we got touch base on that. I'm interested in following along, and like I really am, because like I want to learn more about my Vcure, like I said, and like to see how other people are doing it and like what they're putting in their parameters, if they're even changing them, because really you don't really have to change them that much. Like I said, I did bump up my humidity on my curing cycle a little bit, but I didn't really have to per se. I just from experience and my own preference, because everyone has their own preferences. That's the cool thing about it, is like you can set your own preference. So
yeah.
I really honestly thought, man, when I first got it, that it was just going to come like you can only do the 7-day or the 14-day dry cure. Like I totally didn't think that it had its own parameters. And when I learned that, I was like, fucking game changer again, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because some people like to like start off with like more heat when they do their drying. Like they have like more heat, less humidity. Like some people really fluctuate on that kind of stuff. Like I'm more myself. I'm like a 65-60 kind of guy. Like I'm right around that 60-60, which everyone always says. But some people are like, no, man, I'm a 75-55 guy. Like some people are all over the place, to be honest with you.
I'm the same way. I used to be like 65-60. That was like always, you have to have it 65-60. And then somebody told me, you can dry quicker and have better quality. And that's when I kind of started playing around with it. I didn't like, when I first started learning that, it was in my commercial setting. So I couldn't like risk, losing or messing up a whole harvest. So I would, pull a little bit aside and try different things. And, it's crazy the things that you can do just by changing the temperature a little bit. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. So
yeah, it is. It really is. Okay, so here's a question that we have. What curing method worked best for you before the Vcure? So like I'm pretty sure both of us kind of touched base on this throughout this episode, but I'll give my what I always did, again, like a little bit of a rundown. Before the Vcure came out, I've only done one cycle in it, but like I said, I would trim the room that I'm sitting in right now. This was my drying and curing room. I'd make sure I blacked out my windows so there's no light getting in this room. And it depends on if it was summer or winter. That depends on if I have the air conditioning running or if I have a heater running, right? So I always had to have a fan blowing on the floor to create air movement in this room. I always had to have a heater and AC keeping the temperatures dialed in. I always had to have a humidifier, either keeping the humidity up or a dehumidifier if it was summer to keep my humidity down. There was a lot into it, man. That's why I like dreaded drying and curing. And that's why I was so happy when I started learning how to make live rosin, because I was like, I don't have to dry and cure anymore. I can just cut it and freeze it, man. There's no more of that shit, because it is annoying. So that's how I did it. And the Vcure came along, and now I just throw it in the box and close the door and press the buttons and forget about it. And that's pretty much the same with you, Jake?
Yeah. Basically, I mean, I was like a 65-60 or 60-60 guy. And yeah, you know, I would dry it like that as much as I can, like similar to you. Fans blowing not directly on the flower, blowing on the floor, dehumidifier, humidifier, air conditioner. And as from a business standpoint, like that increase our operating expenses. Power and water in LA are through the roof. So
yes,
you know, running an AC and dehumidifier that much, I mean, it really shoots that bill up. So I wish I kind of had something like this. You know, I could have just freaking thrown a bunch of them in my drying rooms. But yeah, 65-60 until my branches snap. I always, to this day, I kind of out of habit run the snap test on my branches just to test that internal moisture of the buds. Because I'm sure you know, I'm sure a lot of people already know, the outside of the flower will dry first. And if you dry it too quickly or too slow, you're not going to maintain that chain of water adhesion from the outside to the middle, right? So you're going to have a crispy outside, and then you go to cure it, put it in a bag, and the bud's still wet, you know, in the middle. So then everything, all that moisture equalizes and all the buds wet. And that's when you start to lose terpenes, etc. So I always tried the snap test. That was like my kind of go-to thing to know when to trim it, put it into bags.
Yeah, so explain the snap test. Like, I know what the snap test is a little bit, but if you could explain, because there's a lot of new growers that are watching this, so they're like, what's the snap test? So yeah, if you could explain it quickly, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so snap test basically is literally a testing of the branches. You always, this is for you guys, you know, if you don't have your Vcure yet, or if you're not using one, you want to find a branch that's like medium thickness compared to all the rest of your branches. You don't want to do it on a stalk, obviously. You want to find a branch that's near a flower or in between nodes that's about medium thickness, and you want to give it a sharp bend. I always like use these 3 fingers and just boom, try to bend it to a 90 degree quickly. If you hear an audible snap or, you know, a little crack, I'm sure my sound effects are amazing, but you want to hear an audible snap or feel it in your hand. And that kind of tells you that the stem itself, the inside of the phloem of the stem, is actually dry, which usually I say about 80-90% of the time correlates with the internal flower moisture as well. That's how you know that kind of center of the flower is also dried, and it's safe to trim it or move it into curing bags, jars, etc. I was taught that like in 2009 from my mentor, and I've been doing it since then. Even when I was testing the Vcure, I just out of habit, I just want to make sure, you know, I know the Vcure says it's perfect and the buds look great, but I still, you know, I still did it just to physically make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, I do, but man, like I'm the exact same way. Like my mentor, which was my mom, like she taught me the snap test when I was younger. Like, this is how we test if we can put it in like our big bags or our big bins now to cure it, right? She would always like grab bud and like snap. If it snaps good, and it kind of stays there, it's good. But if it snaps straight in half and falls apart, like we went beyond. We went a bit too far. But if it snaps and kind of just hangs there a little bit, let's just start trimming now and put it in our big bags or whatever we used to like cure it. And she used to use like big like Tupperware bins. That's what she used to always have. And then we would burp them like every day for a couple of hours. And yeah, so the same thing, the snap test does work. And it's something that like I taught people for like the last 4 or 5 years before the Vcure came out, is like, if you guys want to test your flowers or to know it's good, just do the snap test. And like, that's going to tell you if you go to snap it and it doesn't go click, or snap it just all bendy like a vine, it just stays like, you just like do this with it. It needs more time. Like, just let it stay if it's like a vine. So yeah, so that's cool, man.
And it pulls a string off the stem, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Yeah, the string.
The string effect.
Okay, sweet. There's another one. I'll go first because you haven't done a cycle in your Vcure yet, right, to dry any buds yet. So like, you don't like, well, the question was like, what results surprised you the most after curing? For me, what surprised me the most after curing in this Vcure was what we have been talking about, like the moisture of the flower. Like it wasn't like, they're not like popcorn, like dust, and they're not like gummy, like, you know, when you cut up flour and you can't even roll it because it's just too gummy and it just like kind of sticks together. It's not like that either. It's actually like a really perfect cure that I have this run on mine. Like I was surprised that of the how do I say that? Like I guess the moisture of the flower, like it was just a perfect moisture. I was really expecting it to be honest, man, I was expecting it to be really dry after I pulled it out. Like I didn't know what to expect. And then once I cut it up, I'm like, holy shit, this thing actually did a really good job. So I was surprised in the moisture content, man.
Yeah, that's I'm doing some kind of beta product testing with the Vcure.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get some flowers from a friend's facility. The Vcure, the testing Vcure is actually two of them are at his facility. I have one running the craft cycle and one running the quick cycle. They're actually in the curing mode now, so I'm not all the way done with it, but I'm close. I'm really excited to kind of pluck down some of those branches and see what it's smoking like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. It is. It's pretty. I'm excited to see everybody getting this Vcure that ordered one and start seeing all the pictures coming out and like the competition that's coming. I'm excited to see everyone because like I'm happy with it. I know I have a few close friends like Rob CLTV. He's happy with his. Pigeons, he used his, happy with his. All the guys that I know that use them are happy with them, and they're not gonna lie to me. Like they tell me straight up, and like these guys are straight shooters too. That suck. They're fucking tell you straight up like that thing sucks.
Right.
So it's cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing like everyone else in the community that's going to be happy to get their Vcure for sure. What else was in here that I was just reading?
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Rob and Pigeons and all you know all those dudes for holding it down for Vivosun and keeping it honest for the community and you know being such a big helping hand. I know I'm kind of new to this platform to you guys, but I really appreciate and aspire to be like you guys on that sense. You know what I mean? Really helping the masses, and that was really a big part of my decision to join the Vivosun team is to really kind of spread the word and be able to reach a lot more people and demystify growing and get all the bro science and lore out of the way and really help them, you know, grow better with, you know, science back and real data information and grow science rather than just, oh yeah, put your plant in the dark before you flip to flower. It really helps it.
Yeah.
And then you ask why, and they're like, well, that's the way I learned, which is cool. That's fine. You know what I mean? But to know the why will really help people make those decisions on their own better rather than just doing something or being told to do something, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like, and like when you touch base there on Rob and Pigeons and like say Mr. Grow It, like even I Can THC, like all those guys, Matt Strange Show, like
Strange Show for sure.
Yeah, they're straight up, man. Like, and I've met them in person like numerous times, and so like I know that they're like pretty straight up dudes. And like some people think like you guys are talking all this hype about Vivosun because you like work for them, but that's not the case. Like if this thing did not do a good job, like I would honestly tell people like, yeah, like I think I had problems with it. It might have been my mistake, but like I would give an honest review. Like, and I know Rob would 100%. Rob would give an honest review, and like, and that's what I like about those boys is like they're not just in it for the company, they're in it for the community. So like real feedback, man. It's like, yeah, we do work with the company, but we're also not going to just like just do what the company says. Like we're going to tell you guys as a community because we do community events. We come out and meet you guys. We don't want to like run like the home growers takeover event. And then you guys all come to us and be like, yo, that thing sucked. Why do you guys promote it? You know? So like we try to be pretty honest with our reviews, man. Like, and I am for sure. Like I'll tell you how it is. And I'm impressed with this curing system 100%.
And that's you guys because of that. And I can tell, you know, I've seen Rob, I've seen you and the other dudes be honest with, you know, with whatever it may be you're working with. And I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Hopefully soon enough here, we can all have a big sesh. I think that'd be dope to kind of meet all you guys and talk growing, talk strains or whatever, and have a big sesh. I think that'd be super cool.
Well, are you going to Mary Jane Berlin?
We're talking about it. Well, I got asked about it earlier this week. I would be more than thrilled to go. I think it would be super dope if, you know.
Do you know what, man?
If I go. We
should all try to talk about it because like we all go to that event. It was the best event that I have ever been to in the cannabis space, and I've been to a lot of them, and so has Rob. Like Rob CLTV, he's been to a lot of events in this space. So he's been doing it for a long time, and he even said like that is the one and only one that you have to go to. So like I would love to like go stand at the Vivosun booth for like an hour or two and like do a wicked meet and greet there, and like and then you and I and all of us can go and have a big session after. Like, that'd be amazing, man, because the smoking section there is amazing. Like we should all brainstorm up something, man, because I think it's doable, and like we could do a big community we could do like a big community meetup at Berlin, and there's a
Hell
lot of
yeah.
Germans in our chat right now and watch us. So like, and a lot of people from here fly over there to go to that event too. So I think
Yeah.
it'd be sick, man, for us all to get together, and that would probably be the easiest way, to be honest with you.
Oh, for sure. I know we're all coming from different places. I would be honored, and I think that, like you said, I think that'd be a lot of fucking fun to all
It
just
would
sit
be.
together and blow some doinks, you know?
Yeah, last year we went and like Vivosun helped us out, helped us get down there and stuff, and they took us out for an awesome dinner, and like it was really special, man. So like hopefully they're on board this year and want to do the same thing. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, we got a solid
What
team
else?
here, man. I'm really impressed.
Yeah,
Very,
they
very
do have
good.
a solid team so far. I'm impressed with working with them as well. Elliott's awesome.
He is. Yeah, he is.
There's a giveaway here, but this giveaway, what I'm reading is for Canadian subscribers only. It is 2 6-inch fan giveaway, but you gotta check on the
Go.
Instagram for an image on it. So go to the Instagram, Vivosun Instagram, and I think that's where the giveaway might be being held. You might have to go make a comment or share the post or something, or tag a friend. I'm not too sure, but it just says here Canadian subscribers only, 2 6-inch fan giveaways. Check the IG for the image. So everyone get over there and check it out, because there's 2 sweet fans that they're giving away.
I'm gonna be honest. Before joining the Vivosun team, I had used a few of their products, and I was kind of skeptical on them. And now that I'm like balls deep into Vivosun, and I'm sure you guys saw the Grow Lounge setup, but I'm sitting next to the tents right here. You can see the vibe sign. I am thoroughly impressed with like the quality and how everything works. Like really impressed with it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's
How
really kind
easy it
of
is
blows.
too.
That's what I mean. Is like
Yeah.
everything works together, and that's something that I have been wanting to be able to do for a very long time, especially like with my style of growing. Automation can be extremely helpful. So very, very impressed and stoked to see it
100%.
grown.
I'm just sorry, I just Elliot wrote me, getting sure I just been told show. Okay, so all right, Elliot, are you gonna run the giveaway then? My bad, guys. Sorry, Jake. I got confused there.
No worries, bro.
The giveaway is actually happening now near the end of the show. We're doing the 2 fan giveaways. So I think Elliot might be running them through his Nightbot. Let's just see here. Let's give him a second here to chime in on the chats. It's kind of cool on these things. You can do like live editing. So like he's like editing our like what do you call this? Like a template. Like he edits it as we go through the show, which is kind of cool, man.
Yeah,
But it throws things off a little bit. So
for
I just
sure.
want to do a quick recap as we're trying to figure out this giveaway here, this thing that's going on. So recap on what we touched base on today, like why curing matters. Curing matters for like improved flavor and smell, smoother smoke, increased potency and quality, long-term preservation if you cure your buds, and it even makes a good moisture content throughout the whole flower, not just the inside. Because if you like how was I going to explain that? Like it's just an even moisture content is what I'm trying to say when you cure your flower.
You don't have
We
that
also,
wet inner core.
yeah, avoid that wet inner core. That's right. What Vcure helps solve, in my mind, I think that Vcure helps solve a whole bunch of different stuff. First, it helps solve stress of having to like make sure your humidifier is filled up and make sure you drain your dehumidifier and make sure your fans are working. So it takes away a lot of stress, that's for sure. And it takes away a lot of guesswork as in burping jars, when to burp, when is it done? Like all that stuff, all the guesswork is kind of eliminated with the Vcure. Why the Vcure Cup exists? Well, I think it's going to be a huge community thing, right? Like Vcure Cup's going to exist because of it exists because we're trying to build a community with the Vivosun. So it's also going to share a lot of data for us to experience and just awesome vibes, like the sign behind Jake. So Jake, if you want to touch base on that a little bit more, then go ahead, man.
Yeah, guys, just if you have a VCure, you're using it, you're gonna get one before the end of March or before the middle of March, the 16th. Just create a post on Reddit. You know what I mean? It's not hard. Throw a couple pictures, a short video, give us your VCure review, give us some tips that you learned along the way. Share your recipe, share pictures of how your flowers turned out. It's all about putting data out there for the community, right? Because Yeah, it can come from us, which is great. I'm sure you guys will take the knowledge, digest it, and use it. But if it comes from the community, it just it brings everybody together. You know what I mean? It creates that sense of community, and it creates a larger database and base of knowledge for everybody to pull from. So if you have a Vcure, just throw a post up on Reddit. You know what I mean? You can go check out the Vcure video, or sorry, the Vcure Cup video. It's on all the platforms. You can see all the entries, rules, et cetera, et cetera. There's a bunch of categories you guys can enter, and you can enter up to 3 times. So win yourself some cash, you know what I mean, and help the community at the same time. It's a win-win. So I encourage
Yeah.
everybody, you know, if you have your hands on one, just do it.
Yeah, it's easy enough. It's just as easy as you just said, like just a couple clicks of a button, and who doesn't like $5,000 worth of prizes too that you have a potential chance to win? So like that's huge right there, man. So I can see right now that we are running the giveaway. You got to type in exclamation "Oh Canada." That's it. It's for Canadians only. There'll be a few Canadians in here for sure. There's 420 Things Grow. He's another guy who makes live rosin. He's pretty cool, man. But he also does a lot of the candies with his freeze dryer. He actually has a business. Like that's how he got his wife to talk his wife into buying his freeze dryer. He's like, we're doing business on the side with candies, and like he's doing it, man. So
That's
like
awesome.
that's cool. Yeah, so they're running that giveaway now.
Maybe I can
Before I
talk my
lose you,
wife
Jake,
into it.
I just want to say thank you so much, man, for coming on and introducing yourself. And like you seem like a pretty cool guy, so I really look forward to hanging out with you and actually even smoking with you in the future, man.
Oh yeah, and thank you, man. Thanks for having me on. It's been an honor. Hopefully we can do it again in future, work together in the future, and you know, this has been really great. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the community. You guys chiming in, give us your comments, your questions. Thanks all you guys. I appreciate, you know, everybody in Vivosun included. So thanks. It's been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, this is cool. So we're just gonna chill here for a minute and let these 2 giveaways get all wrapped up, and we're good to go, man. So if you have anything that you want to shout out right now, if you have anything that you want to say to the community, anything at all, now's your chance. Or if you guys have questions in the chats, now your chance. If you have a question for Jake or I right now, type it in the chats and we'll answer you guys some questions. So just let us know.
I do apologize, guys. I do have a little. I woke up with the sniffles this morning. My throat's a little scratchy, so I apologize if I've been sniffling or coughing throughout.
I haven't heard you doing that at all. I haven't noticed one thing. Reggie the mechanic, he won one of the giveaways. Nice. He's always in our live shows, man. So that's cool. I'm glad you won, Reg. Congratulations, buddy.
Congrats.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I think they still have one more to do, and then we're good.
Oh, real quick, I created a new Instagram too, strictly growing Vivosun stuff. You guys can follow me at Grow Coach J on Instagram, YouTube as well. I'll start posting YouTube content here shortly once I get some plants growing and can start filming some solid instructional content, educational stuff, fun stuff for you guys. So make sure you guys check that out as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I want to ask you a big question. So for people to like find you, like, are you gonna be doing like lots of videos on the Vivosun YouTube channel, like just updates on your grow? Like you're actually gonna be growing some cannabis plants, right?
Oh yeah. So I will. Not the Vivosun.official account. I'll be posting that mostly on my account, just like updates and stuff like that. The Vivosun account will hold a lot of the educational content I'm gonna put out, the info stuff, product breakdowns, etc. My YouTube will probably be more like updates, vlogs, what I'm doing with irrigation site. Like right now, I'm building out a custom feeding station, so I'm probably gonna put that on my IG and my YouTube, so you guys can check that out. What's going on with that?
So you're gonna have it all automated then?
Yeah, basically. So I'm really big into crop steering, and the solutions right now they're kind of on the market for real precision drip feeding, or they're not bad, but they're not as precise as I would like. So I'm getting ready to build out my own kind of like pump feeding station, automated to the ML feeding.
Man, that's cool because like that's where I'm at right now. I want to figure out like an automated system in my space in my next run so I can like not always have to be here every day to like water my plants by hand. And like I want to like I did try something earlier. I had like a blue mat system, but it failed me. Like the blue mat tape split and it flooded my whole room. I'm like, holy shit. So like I got scared of automated systems at that point.
Right.
But now I want to put like a flood to drain table in. So if anything did flood, it just floods down, drains, and goes down the drain. I don't got to worry about it flooding my whole room, right?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what you're going to do. I'm going to be following you along. I'm going to follow you along for sure. And I'm going to share your Instagram in one of my stories on my Instagram so people can find you easier.
Thanks, bro.
Considering you just made that, it'd be nice to give you might help you out, gain some like 10 followers or something.
I'm sure it'll be a huge boost, man. Thanks. I really appreciate that, bro.
But yeah, I'll definitely share that for you. But yeah, I think we got our next winner is in. I think, where was it? Something up north. Where are you? Oh yeah, Ghost Up North TV. Congratulations. I wonder where you are up north. That's pretty cool because everyone is Canadian, so I wonder where they all are in Canada because I'm here too. So I think that's pretty cool. Well, congratulations, guys. Elliot told you where to go to get in contact. So you got to contact Vivosun IG, Discord, or the marketing email. That's the best way to do it, guys. So Jake, I think that's a wrap, man. Thank you so much once again for being in here, giving us your expertise on curing, on the Vcure. You seem like a really smart guy, man. So everyone's going to learn a lot from you. I have no doubt about that. So I'm excited to even learn myself from you. So thanks, man, for being on here. Much appreciated. Hopefully we can kick it in Germany, because that would be amazing.
For sure. It's been an honor and a pleasure, man. Definitely looking forward to Germany and the future.
100%. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap for from the Green Room, episode number 4 about curing. Thank you so much all for being here today. Much appreciated. Thank you, Vivosun, for having us on here. Like I said, guys, if you guys any products from Vivosun, use code Scrog at Vivosun.com or use code Scroggers on Amazon. Oh yeah, Elliot, I need one of those hoodies too, please. Can you send me one?
Oh, dude, check out the back. I don't know if you see the back. Oh, it says always on the grow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Fire.
I need an extra large, please, Elliot. I would love that, and I'll wear it during the show. I could have worn one, but I don't have a hoodie from Vivosun. I only have an Adidas one. All right, thank you guys.